Hello everyone, myself Raghavendra Pappu and I am here to demonstrate our tool Cobmaker, which is an interactive block-based programming environment for COBOL.
Based programming environment for COBOL. Cobmaker is an innovative block-based programming tool that transforms COBOL education through intuitive drag-and-drop interfaces and real-time code generation. Now, let us dive into why Cobmaker. Nearly over 220 billion lines of COBOL code are still in active use today, with 95% of ATM swipes and 80% of in-person transactions relying on COBOL systems. This is a very huge number. We must definitely consider this. Despite its importance in enterprise systems, this essential language remains largely unknown to new generations of programmers. So, we built a tool called Cobmaker through which users can learn COBOL effectively and experience the joy of learning COBOL. The goal of this work is to provide immediate access to COBOL development environment, removing technical difficulties that often discourage new learners. COBmaker's hierarchical organization contextual hints provide appropriate support for novice developers following established principles of visual programming design. Now let us dive into the architectural view of our tool. Now our tool contains a front end and back end, and we implemented our front end using React, and we implemented our back end using Flask framework, and we also used GNU COBOL compiler for compilation of the COBOL code, which is being generated by the user by dragging blocks, and we used Blockly for creating blocks, and we deployed our tool. We deployed the front end of our tool using Vercel, and we deployed our backend using Render. And our in the user interface, it is very handy to the users, and it contains different divisions, data division, control division, etc. And now let us dive into the demonstration part.
To access the tool, visit the repo and click on the deployed URL. The web app opens in a new tab. On the left side, the user can choose blocks from various categories like program, which consists of identification division and environment division related blocks, and data. The data section consists of the data division and file and working storage, variables and linkage section related blocks. Logic. The logic section comes with procedure division, initialization, control flow, loops, and program control blocks. And coming to file and IO section, it consists of input output blocks and file processing blocks. And the arithmetic section consists of arithmetic constructs and strings related blocks. And the utilities section consists of the blocks that can be used for error handling, sorting and merging, table operations, report writing, and some advanced features, and the compiler direct. And through this quick section, the user can use some frequently accessed COBOL templates like file processing template, program structure basic one, and the loop examples, and the conditional processing, etc. And coming to this sample section, the user can use some pre-written sample programs helping novice COBOL programmers like addition of two numbers, checking which number is greater, looping example, and multiplication of two numbers, etc. And here in this middle area, they can drag and arrange their blocks to visually build their COBOL program. One of the key features of this tool is the on-hover block guidance for novice COBOL programmers. When the user hovers over any block, a tooltip appears showing what the block does, when and why it should be used, and whether the block is mandatory or optional in a COBOL program. And the top right panel shows the real-time COBOL code dynamically generated from the blocks. And on finally clicking the Run COBOL button, the program executes and the output will appear in the bottom left corner. Each block also comes with a right-click menu for quick actions. Users can duplicate a block. They can add comments. They can switch between inline or actional inputs. Collapse or expand blocks for better organization. Also disable or enable blocks without actually deleting them. And finally delete a block if it is no longer needed. Now let's create a program for addition of two numbers in COBOL. Firstly, we require identification division as this is mandatory for every COBOL program. Let's change the program ID to addition and the other name to Risha. and we can give today's date. Secondly, we require data division for handling variables. And in data division, we need working storage section as the variable needs to retain across the execution. And we declare some variables for addition. Let's name it v1 and let's give it a value of 1000. Let's duplicate the block and declare another variable. Change its name to v2 and change its value to 2000. Let's declare another variable for storing the result. Let's name it result. Let's make it uninitialized. Now we require procedure division for handling the logic of addition. Now we require add construct for handling addition logic. Add a v1 to v2, giving the result. Now let's display the result using the display block. We need to take display var name. Here our variable name is result, so change it to result. Now let's run the COBOL program. This is the generated COBOL program. We can see the output is 3000, 1000 plus 2000. And this makes COBOL easy to learn and fun to use without need to write the code manually. Thank you.